Okay, so the recording already started. So basically, okay, hopefully this should be okay. Let us see if I can do a little bit of doodling. Okay, yes, I can. Oops. Okay, now this currently in terms of material management or in the scope of purchasing, there are basically two, if you look at here, there are basically two main modules are basically involved with it. That is material management and finance. But currently, if you look at the top, there are people who are from administration, the purchasing department. There are people who are working in the warehouse, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have the buyer, the receiving clerks, the finance department, and who are involved in this lab exercise. So currently, even though you are doing the lab exercise alone, currently there are in total of 8 people involved. So the first step is basically create new vendor. Now, I will be asking questions. So basically everyone can jump in for answering either through the chat or through your microphone. Okay, now create new vendor. What was the name of the vendor that you have created?
Midwest Supply.
Midwest Supply, yes, correct. So, Midwest Supply, you are creating this vendor because this is the first ever business transaction that your company, Global by Incorporated, will be executing with the vendor called Midwest Supply. Whether you're going to purchase something from there or not, but that will be depending. For this case, yes, you will be buying something from this vendor. So what is currently happening is that your company GBI is selling bike as its main business, but suddenly you notice that there is something that you don't have inside your warehouse, where something that you're supposed to be selling to the customer. Now, what this create material master for trading goods. The second step, you are creating a material data data for something that you're going to be selling it. That is being called trading goods. Trading goods is a category where you buy something from a vendor and then you immediately sell it to the customer. You don't need to process it to become something else. So, trading goods. What is the trading goods, or basically, what is the material that you are creating in step 2? Anyone here would like to answer?
Chain lock.
Okay, chain lock. Chain lock is the material that you are supposed to be creating. The code itself, you're going to be following a format called CHLO1, your ID number. Depends. Now, some of you maybe inserted the correct code that is CHLO, not CHL0. Now, either way, both of them are correct because that is just a naming convention that is being used inside this practice. Now, created a material master called chain lock because currently you're going to be selling chain locks for bicycle. Now, why is this material was not being created before this? Why is GBI not selling chain locks before this? Because chain locks are something that is common for bicycle, just to make sure that your bicycle is not being stolen by anyone. So let's say you just notice that, okay, we don't have the security equipment that is supposed to come with our bicycle. So you are creating a material master called chain lock. Now, what happens next is basically you extended the material master to, okay, now, those of you who have already finished this or already passed step number 3, what did you do in step number 3? Extend material master. What do, in layman term, basically, what did you do? Anyone would try to have a go? Okay, if no one, then basically is the step where you just copy the chain log that you have created during the second step. Why do you need to copy it, even though you are creating a material master for Global by Incorporated? But for the first one, you created in Miami. But then this one here, the third step, you are copying those information, but it's for a different plant that is San Diego. Oh, is it Dallas? I don't actually remember that. But currently, that is what the third step is. Now, anyone here currently, after you created a new vendor, you create the material. This is not really required for step 1, 2, and 3, and 4, because currently those are basically the pre-activities. Those are basically you define the data that you're going to be using. It's not really the start of a purchasing transaction. The start of a purchasing transaction is step 5. Create purchase requisition. Now here, have a quick search of what is the synonym or a layman term, a simpler term of the word requisition. Do a quick search. Okay, so what is the simpler word for requisition?
Request.
Request or demand.
Request or demand. So basically, request to purchase something. That is what create purchase requisition is. That is the first step in the core step, the first step in material management, that is purchasing. This is basically you start by requesting to buy. Okay, so before you requested to buy, how do you know you need to buy? Is basically by checking on your stock, the fourth step. Now, can anyone answer how many chain locks do you have during this step number 4? Display stock. How many chain lock do you have? And basically here you have 0 chain lock because currently you just created, so basically there is no chain locks available inside your warehouse. So basically display stock will show 0. So you notice there is no stock of chain lock. So what you do next is basically you need to restock it. You need to make sure your inventory has some chain lock. So you created a purchase requisition. Now, purchase requisition, this is some sort of, if you would like to know more, you can search for the word tender, open tender, because currently this is what is happening in the real world. When a company wants to buy something or want to acquire a service, they will basically advertise it to the, for today's current age, is basically we will advertise it through the web or through newspaper. That GBI is currently looking for chain locks. How many are there? 200. Okay, so from here, you're going to be next, you're going to be seeing that in your stock, there are currently 200 chain locks is currently being ordered. Is it already being fulfilled? No, it's currently being ordered. Afterwards, is basically what happens here is basically vendors, after this create purchase requisition, vendors will be start coming into your company. They're going to be offering chain locks. Okay, first, the first vendor that is coming in is Midwest. Okay, a new vendor. They came to your company, you created their contact information, and then you say that, and then Midwest will be stating to GBR, yes, we can provide you with 200 chain lock immediately. We have those stocks. Okay. So the second vendor that will be coming in into your company is, anyone would like to try? Wow, it's quite, it's a little bit too quiet here inside the lab session. It's either I'm talking to a wall or basically everyone else is doing something else. Okay, so who is the second vendor? The first, we have Midwest Supply. Second, okay, no response. So second, we have Spygear. And then third, we have Dallas Bike. So basically, those are the three vendors who approached GBI to offer to sell chain locks. How many chain locks? 200. So what happens here is basically you create a request for quotation from those three vendors. And then what happens next is basically those three vendors will be providing with the pricing of the chain lock. So currently here, Midwest is offering $32 per unit. Spygear will be offering $36.50 per unit of for those chain locks. And then finally, Dallas will be offering $35. So what happens next is that GBI, you will be evaluating to see from which vendor are you going to buy those chain locks. So basically in terms of here, to make things simple for this case study is that you're going to be evaluating based on pricing. So here, the lowest price or the vendor who offers the lowest price point for those chain lock will be Midwest Supply. So from here, what you do next is basically you reject the quotation for those other two vendors. So from here, you're going to be confirming that you are going to buy the chain locks from the Midwest Supply. Create purchase order to confirm that you are going to buy 200 chain locks from Midwest Supply. And then just displaying just to confirm what your order is. And what happens here is basically after display purchase order, this is where Midwest Supply will run their sales and distribution process. Okay, now here is what I'm going to be explaining. I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a little bit about how this process is currently be going. But before that, we're going to settle on this. After display purchase order, what happens here is basically Midwest Supply is going to be picking, packing, transporting those 200 chain locks. What kind of method they are using is not really being stated here inside the lab exercise. So basically what happens here is they're going to pick, pack, put it in a lorry, and then send it to your receiving plant. So basically, if I'm not mistaken here, receiving plant is going to be Miami, MI00. So when the lorry arrive at GBI Miami plant, someone, basically in this case, you will be creating a good receipt. So when the items reach your plant in Miami, what will you do is basically go back to the system, go back to SAP, and then create a good receipt just to confirm that the item is there. What happens next is basically you're going to be checking on the goods itself. Is it really chain locks? Is it really 200? Is it in good condition? Is there any rust on the chain lock? Is there any damages to the chain lock? So if everything is good, then you will be creating invoice. So these are the steps of basically making sure. Okay, now if you notice here, there are two good receipts. First one is just to mention that the item arrived. The second one is to make sure that the item is being stored inside your warehouse. You cannot just immediately after purchasing something, you just keep it inside your warehouse without even checking whether the condition, whether the chain lock itself is in good condition or not. So basically there are two good receipt is being conducted here. So afterwards, then you do the payment and display your financial statement here. So that is what basically material management is. You are creating contact for your vendor. You are executing a request, a purchase of request, and then you're going to be dealing with different vendors who are going to be providing you with those goods, comparing them, deciding from whom to buy, receive the item, confirms that the item is good, and then you pay the vendor. Now, I'm going to be showing you, sharing with you one, hopefully this works. Okay. Now I'm going to be presenting, share now. Okay, hopefully this works. I'm currently on two machines. One I have, okay, maybe I should stop presenting on this part here first. Okay, stop presenting. I'm not sure whether this will be recorded or not. If we are lucky enough, it should be recording. Now, how am I supposed to do this? Okay, I'm not presenting. So where is my other ID? More action. Remove from meeting. What? Oh, okay. Share screen. So let us see if this, right? Okay, now I'm not sure. Okay, okay, it's presenting, so I'm not sure. Can you see my other screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, can you see there are basically two process on left and right?
Yes.
Okay, can you see, can you read what I'm doodling?
No.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes,
Hello.
yes.
Okay, what did I doodle?
Hello.
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 Okay, so hello. Okay, correct. So now, if you notice here, these are basically the process that we are currently discussing. So let us say this process on the right hand side is from, oh my God, my machine is hot. How am I supposed to do this? Hopefully nothing bad happens. So basically, this is GBI. Okay, your company is currently executing purchasing. So this is Midwest. Oh my God, my machine is slow. So basically, this is what is going to happen. It's basically when basically, okay, I'm going to start with basically purchase requisition here. I'm going to start here basically. Okay, when I created purchase requisition, what is currently happening on Midwest is basically, I don't think it is recording. So let me try something here. You are presenting, turn on caption, and why? Okay, so let me try. Okay, let me try to record. Meeting is being recorded, so I'm guessing it's being recorded on the other ID, but currently I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything on my. Okay. Currently, okay, there is something. Okay. Now, how am I supposed to make this thing in full screen? Okay. What am I currently seeing on my on my other machine? Okay, hopefully everything is going to be okay. Okay, now when you created a purchase requisition, basically what Midwest, okay, now purchase requisition. After you created purchase requisition, what will Midwest will be responding by creating a customer inquiry where, okay, now, can anyone answer what is customer inquiry in sales and distribution? Quick one. It's already 4:35. I would like to start at 4:45. What is customer inquiry?
Customer request.
Okay, customer request basically. Okay, so purchase requisition will be sent to Midwest. It's not being sent. Basically, Midwest is going to be reading on the net that there is someone is advertising to buy 200 chain locks. So basically what Midwest will do is basically create a customer inquiry. This customer inquiry will then will be responding back to, okay, I'm not sure, there is something missing on, okay, now it's currently there. So basically what happens here is basically from create purchase requisition is going to be Midwest that is going to be responding. Okay, GBI is requesting to buy 200 chain locks. They currently going to be doing is basically they're going to be creating a customer inquiry. GBI would like to buy something, so we created it. Okay, so create customer inquiry. That information will be used by GBI as their request for quotation. So here is basically also in terms of here, this is also another part, is going to be also joining in request for quotation. Notice when you do your sales and distribution exercise, you're going to be negotiating on how much you're going to sell those 7 bicycles. Am I correct? Okay, so basically what happens there is basically you're going to be, Midwest is currently sending their pricing, $32 per chain lock. So that is happening here. That is where you insert the pricing that is being mentioned by the vendor. Now, you evaluate this process here is being done internally here. This is being done internally. Evaluate quotation on pricing, reject quotation. So that is happened internally without Midwest knowing. So after you already confirm that you're going to buy from Midwest, you're going to create purchase order. Purchase order, you're going to be telling Midwest here. So you're going to create purchase order. Once you already done that, Midwest will respond by creating the sales order. Now, notice there are some similar terms. It's happening one after another. Now, I'm going to mention this. This is what happening first, and then it's going to be creating inquiry. You're going to maintain quotation, and then they're going to create sales order. So, if you notice, even though you are in GBI, you are going to buy something, but in the other side of the world, Midwest, the vendor, is selling something. So these two processes are being conducted concurrently with response from both parties, from GBI and Midwest. So after you create purchase order, basically, what happens here is Midwest is going to be creating their sales order. So this part here, I'm going to change it to a different color, green. So this part here, the green part is happening somewhere. Oh, sorry. I'm going to remove this part. It's happening somewhere around before here, before verifying physical receipt of goods. Now, in terms of here, it's basically, oh, sorry, it's not there. It's basically, it's not there, sorry. It's basically happening here. Okay, before create good receipt. So basically, Midwest will be starting delivery process, checks on status, pick and pack material, post good issue. So what happens on your side GBI, you are waiting for their transport to arrive. So after it's arrived, you're going to be checking those goods. So checking on the goods, whether they are okay or not, the quantity is correct, the quality is good, there is no damage whatsoever to the chain lock. So what happens here is basically they already done their post good issue. So what you currently doing is basically good receive. So post good issue, you already Midwest is going to state that okay, those 200 chain locks is no longer ours. GBI will be doing create good receipt or post good receipt stating that those 200 chain locks are now the property of Global Byte Incorporated. Those are the process that is currently happening. Post good issue, post good receipt. Post good issue is no longer Midwest Supply. Post good receipt is belongs to GBI. So here they are going to be invoicing and you are going to be receiving around there. That's around there basically. Basically, they're going to be billing you and also you're going to be billing them back. They're going to state how much you are supposed to pay here, and also you're going to be mentioning I already paid $6,400 for the whole 200 chain locks. So this is basically what is happening during GBI executing purchase of materials or material management. And also on the other side of the world, Midwest, what they are currently executing is sales and distribution. So item that is coming to GBI, GBI is going to be okay. Now what happens here in terms of changes to the organization is basically GBI's money will be going down. Their stock count, or basically their chain locks, will be increasing. For Midwest, their money will be increasing, but their stock will be decreasing, because currently, yes, you are selling something. Of course, you are getting money, but the thing is your items are getting low. So for GBI, yes, your money is running low because you purchased something, but your stock inside your warehouse is getting replenished, is increasing by 200 units for chain locks. So those are basically the thing that is happening between the integration point that is happening between material management and sales and distribution. Okay, it is recorded, so basically you can view this thing again and again. I will share this link later inside our column so that you can view it. Okay, and hopefully nothing is wrong with this screen here. Currently I'm looking at, hopefully there is nothing wrong. Okay, now currently that's it for today. We have reviewed the material management process and also looking at how those processes between material management and sales and distribution are working together to fulfill the purchasing and also the sales part. Afterwards, basically what you're going to be doing is basically continue. You can continue immediately in terms of doing your inventory and warehouse management exercise. Okay, it's going to be not as extensive as material management and sales and distribution. Not much data is needed to be inserted inside the exercise, even though there are basically 4 different case study for inventory and warehouse management. Is going to be very short. There's going to be few inputs. Okay, now before we end this session, is there any question?
No, sir.
Is there any question 1? Is there any question 2? Is there any question 3? Okay, then. Yes.
Can I take a look for the lab exercise progress for the
For which?
material manufacturing management?
Okay,
Material
currently just now I
management.
already state for material management, currently there is a problem in terms of the program itself is just showing your progress completed for step 1. The rest is not showing. So if I were to see whether which step you are in, I need to do it manually. I need to basically look through each step that is being mentioned inside the lab exercise so that I can pinpoint where you're at. But currently, are you having any problems?
For the lab exercise one.
Which step?
Not sure, but I done already, but there's sure I haven't done yet.
Okay, we can discuss it later then.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Now, any other question? Okay, if there is none, then for the rest, those of you who haven't complete lab exercise 3, sorry, not lab exercise 3, lab exercise sales and distribution, please make sure you complete it. I cannot be restricting it whether you finish it by this week or next week. It's being open throughout the semester. So please make sure you finish this thing and also continue doing material management, because currently the number of lab exercise is going to be increasing by the week. So if you start slowing down, you're going to have problem catching up on finishing the rest of the lab exercise that is made available. Okay, so if there is no question, thank you very much.
Sir.
Yes.
Can I know
Yes,
when
Jenny.
is our midterm?
Midterm is going to be on week 7 lecture hour. It's going to be next week.
Okay.
Okay, explanation or some hints about the midterm will be given tomorrow during lecture. Okay, now any more question? Okay, if there is none, thank you very much. I'll be seeing you back tomorrow during the lecture. Now, please make sure before the day's end, make sure you log on inside the SAP system for today as your proof of attendance for the lab session. Okay, thank you very much. I see you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.